Hello, I'm John Shepherd, and in this short video we're going to take a look at the men's long jump in the British Championship trials for the World Championships. It was a beautiful day in Birmingham and I had one of my athletes, Paul Ogan, competing. The majority of the top jumpers in the UK were there, and they were aiming for a jump of 8.17 meters to get automatic qualification if they came in the top two for the Doha Worlds. Paul opened well with a 7.41 meters jump, which was slightly wind assisted, 2.1 meters per second following, which showed that the conditions were excellent for jumping. Feron Sayers jumped 7.70 meters on this effort and has a best this year of 7.92 meters. Samuel Khogali has had a bit of a breakthrough this year. He's jumped 7.75 meters. However, he's been struggling with injury recently and couldn't match that form. Decathlete Tim Duckworth, who has jumped 8.03 meters, went out to 7.89 meters. Being so close to the board enabled me to get these great shots of the jumpers, and we can pay particular attention to the setup of their jump and their penultimate step placements, for example, and also the way that they swing off of the board and the different methods used. Paul, for example, should be blocking more off of the takeoff. He tends to swing straight through and go into his hitch hang, hitch kick technique. Looking at the jump again, it was good to see that his foot placement was round about the 2.20 meters that we've been working on prior to the board, and that his final step was quick into the board. We've also been working on a straighter leg takeoff. You can see that Dan was slightly closer than Paul on his penultimate step to the board, and this resulted in him over-rotating as he's unable to get his free leg in sufficiently enough to counteract that rotation that's pulling him forwards off of the board. Meanwhile, Paul was showing great consistency with a 7.42. You can see that he was slightly further back off of the board this time and had a longer penultimate step. He just wasn't quite hitting the correct positions to get the takeoff. He was jumping more on speed, which is great, but he's also capable of getting a lot more lift off of the board, and he wasn't hitting the board the way that we've been working on in training. You have to block with the free leg and forward arm in particular to create more of an impulse through the board, otherwise you'll tend to just go straight through it. Meanwhile, Alex Farquharson was jumping really well and coming back into the shape that saw him jump 7.70 meters as a junior. You can see quite a lot of backward rotation from Ray here in this particular jump, which ensued from the takeoff. The leg shoot shows that in particular. Here's Feron, again jumping 7.57 meters, and it looks like he overloads too much on the penultimate before stepping in, and of course, as you can see, he's behind the board as well. The final 3 steps are crucial for long jumps, and they need to be consistent. We're now into the final round, and Tim Duckworth goes out to 7.92 meters. This was the exact same distance that Dan Bramble had achieved earlier. However, as Tim had jumped 7.91 meters also, he took the lead and the victory, as it turned out, on countback. This was Dan's final attempt, and had he got his angles correct off with the takeoff, it would have been a very long jump. You can see the feet dropping as he comes into land. Overall, it was a good competition for Paul. However, he didn't quite hit the long jump despite a very consistent series, and in a way it was very similar to the performances of many of the other guys in the competition, in that the really long jump eluded them. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your training and competition, and do leave any comments you may have in the section below or through my other social media.